crazy fights on paternity court.
You are not.
I knew it! Go find your baby daddy. Put somebody else on child support. I want my money back. I want my money back. I told you I wasn't the father of that child.
Were you talking to me?
I was talking to you.
Then shut up.
Now no.
You shut up.
Mr. Davis, first of all, I control the score. Now you can take it to the street and you'll be out on the street.
In this baby daddy drama, Mr. Matlock rolls back from a trip to find his girl knocked up. Plot twist? Miss Monroe? Well, she let her ex crash at their place while he was away. Crazy, right? Well, despite knowing all this, Mr. Matlock gives her a pass. But now, with a kid in the picture, his love vibe has totally flipped.
Back in 2006, when me and Miss Monroe first got together, she knew I was back and forth from Fort Smith to Fayetteville because I have a son down in that area. Back in 07, I was down there for a week.
No,
it was a week.
You said you were going to be gone a weekend and you were gone a month.
It was a week. You're
you
lying.
Were gone a month.
It was a week.
You were gone a month.
Anyway, Your Honor.
Look, Miss Monroe's playing the I called him non-stop card, but Mr. Matlock left her on read. She figured he was pulling a disappearing act. Oh, Lord, that's not how a relationship plays out, girl. Get with the program.
Ms. Monroe, when he went out of town, did he voluntarily call you at all while he was gone?
Live.
Maybe,
Not one call.
maybe 2 or 3 times, like the whole time he was gone.
Okay, so 2 or 3 times you did speak to him.
Yeah.
But when you called him, he didn't return your
He
call.
would not answer my call.
Okay.
Hold up. So she dropped the bomb that she never picked up the phone, right? But here's the kicker. This chick's all over the place with her story. And on top of that, Mr. Plaintiff needs to raise the curtain on how he's been tight with her since he was knee-high to a grasshopper.
I get a phone call from my sister. What's up?
You ain't who
May
you
pregnant.
pretended to be.
Whoa, what you mean May pregnant? I just talked to her
I
on the
told you
phone.
that.
And you told my sister that you were pregnant.
Well, ain't this a hot mess? What's the deal with keeping the bun in the oven on the down low, Miss Monroe? But hold on to those hats, because she clarified to Mr. Matlock that it's his spawn. But, you know, that's a whole nother saga. And Mr. Matlock's diving deep into the dating game like there's no tomorrow.
If you would have been real
What you
about
done
it
for her?
in the beginning, I would have been there for you.
What you done for
don't
her?
never know. If you wouldn't have said, hey,
What you done
it's
for
not
her?
your baby, and would have just kept it real and meant, hey, it's a possibility, we could have worked
I
on it,
told your
and we
sister
could have
that.
been still probably been together. You
No,
never
I
know.
told your
You
sister
said
that.
out of your mouth. You
I
said
told your
you are
sister
not
that.
the father.
In the midst of this crazy paternity circus, give it up for Mr. Matlock. He's no deadbeat. Dude's shelling out that child support cash, staying true to his side of the deal, even though he's riding the uncertainty wave. And would you believe it? The baby mama doesn't even seem to give props for that. Total lack of appreciation, man.
I need to understand how you started paying child support.
Because he sent me papers with all his information to put him on child support so he could get it.
We
Yes,
wanted to get a
yes,
DNA test
shut
done
up.
because
No,
she didn't want to
that's
get
not
the
what
DNA
happened.
test done. It's
You
been
wanted to take me on
it's been 3 or 4 years, and she didn't never want to know who the father of this child was.
Hold the phone. Mr. Matlock's getting handed the dad title by default, and the mama's playing it all sneaky. Time for Judge Lauren to lay down the law and manually untangle this web of drama. She's like, enough with the suspense, and straight up drops the bomb by calling for the results. Let's see who's really in the parenting spotlight.
You are not.
I knew it. Go find your baby daddy. Put somebody else on child support. I want my money back. I want my money back. I told you I wasn't the father of that child. Knew it from the beginning. Trifling. Knew it. I knew it.
Imagine finding out that the dude you've always thought was your pop suddenly drops a bomb and says, nah, I ain't your real dad. Because who cares about that hefty child support payment, right? Reuben's sisters were straight up in front of Judge Lake, demanding their supposed old man spill the tea and finally clear the air.
He always denied me. He always treated me differently. I mean, I just feel like he never treated me fair. With my brother and sister, he will bring things around like one Christmas, he bring a whole bunch of toys around, get them toys on top of toys, and then tell them, oh, play with your sister. Never brought me anything, always treated me differently.
Mr. Davis had his Super Saiyan mode on for this interaction. Turns out he was taking the frustration of Reuben's mother and projecting it onto his alleged children. God damn! And this thought alone made the siblings go kamikaze.
Neither one of you all was in there when it started, okay? She had 3 kids before I met her.
Okay,
she had
don't
you
mean
3,
she stuck around.
supposedly
She
had
was
you
with
3
him
with me,
first.
and now she has
Don't mean
how
she
many
stuck
more
around.
after me?
She was
I get a
with him
grand
first.
total of 13.
Come on, you ain't did nothing anyway. You
Ladies and
nothing.
You believe their mother had slept around and was unfaithful to you. You were in a relationship at the time.
Check this out. When the Rubens catch the judge's vibe, Mr. Big Daddy flips his lid too. Seriously, folks, you're in a courtroom, not shooting the breeze in your backyard. You know what they say, a leopard can't ditch its spots. So the judge had to drop some knowledge, and it took a hot minute.
I need to know from you whether you ever were in all of their lives as a father. Were you ever just there?
Were you talking to me?
I was talking to you.
Then shut up.
No.
You shut up.
Mr. Davis, first of all, I control the score. Now you can take it to the street and you'll be out on the street.
You nailed it, Lauren. Well, anyway, right after that, Daddy starts claiming he wasn't exactly an angel either, doing some cave sniffing himself. But get this, the parents keep going back and forth like a seesaw, and their shady moves and commitment drama wreck 3 innocent lives. Talk about a hot mess.
After my first child, like I said, when I met her, and she had 3 kids before I met her.
That has nothing to do with what's going on now.
You know, while we was having a relationship, I don't believe I believe the judge was telling me.
Why make broken promises then?
Okay,
Why sit right there and act like
that's
everything
on me.
cool? Like
That's on me.
graduation.
I own that. That's on me.
So, in the ongoing family drama, there's still a bunch of loose ends. Next up, the judge brings in the brother for some testimony. And guess what? Daddy testified that he was just trying to make sure about the paternity gig because he's freaked about the fam illness getting passed down. Are you seriously buying that? Like, really?
What do you have to say about this?
As far as me hearing about this DNA test, it surprised me because if you ask for a DNA test and you claim I'm yours, you know what I'm saying? And then I hear that it's about disease in the family, why would you wait after 27 years just to come to me with this? It's something you should have told me on the phone, do something, let me know what's happening.
So the dude claims it's all about goodwill. But let's be real here. Every tub's gotta stand on its own bottom, right? Well, Judge Lauren grilled Mr. Davis about his freakouts regarding either inheriting some illness or getting slapped with a fat child support bill.
Please tell me this child support situation. Are you aware that he was making these payments?
The point of it is they take it. I've been married to Johnny 22 years. Never an income tax check has came into our house. It goes to y'all. I don't know where. I filed with my husband with my 3 children that I have.
The broken fam had their eyes glued to that DNA result. No leniency on the table. It's like when love and respect bail. Only the raw truth holds folks together. No beating around the bush. Let's get real.
This court has determined that you are her father.
You already knew that. Already knew that.
What up? Child support, here I come.
I don't worry about it, come with it.
Yeah.
Talk about a tangled web. So in this crazy scenario, the dude who might be the baby daddy bit the dust. And get this, he's been throwing shade on the whole paternity situation before kicking the bucket. Now, Miss Hooker's landed in the paternity court showdown, facing off with the late dad's mom.
How have you been affected by Miss Baker's doubts about Kanaya's paternity?
I'm just sad sometimes. I try to deal with it now. Like, I really don't care no more. That's how I feel. I don't care anymore. I don't care who feel nothing about my baby. I don't care. It just seemed like everybody else looking upside my head like I'm an animal or something. Like, every time I'm sitting down doing something, they looking at me like I'm just outcast of the group. She looked like me, so why's the problem?
The baby mama's wearing her distress like a neon sign, no doubt. But here's the kicker. Miss Baker's playing it stubborn, swearing up and down that her son ain't the dad. It's like a rock-solid belief in the alleged baby daddy's fam. Brace yourselves, because tensions are about to hit the roof from here on out. It's drama central, folks.
My son was on vacation. We kept hearing that Denia was pregnant, but then when we finally found out for sure, he told me. He said he wasn't the only boy that had messed with Denia. And he made me promise that we was gonna get a blood test.
Hold on to your hats, because guess what? There's a wild card in the mix. Miss Baker testified in court saying there was another dude in the picture. This mystery man dropped the bomb on the alleged baby daddy that when he wasn't around, he and Mama Bear were getting cozy.
Keisha only denied the baby when him and my daughter was arguing. Other than that, I have pictures with him laying on her stomach. He had doubts only when he was angry. And I cannot get mad at what he tell his mother or nothing like that. But when he came over there with us, he held the baby, kissed the baby, and loved the baby. He just needs to get the results for Miss Carolyn.
Miss Hooker's acting as chill as a teen rolling her eyes at a family dinner. But here comes Miss Coates at Hooker's crib. Apparently, there are some mix-ups and emotions in the mix. Get this, she got wind of Hooker's bun in the oven through her own daughter and grandkid, who share the same school bus ride.
Did he give you any proof or anything that there was this other guy? Because Miss Hooker testified that this was the only person she was sleeping with.
I think he just went off what they're saying in their circle of kids. You know, they talk, they have their own.
Yeah, the boy was telling him that, you know, when you were away, I was messing with her.
Whoa, hold your horses, miss. Going down that road might set off a powder keg of drama. Well, anyway, the vibe here is thick with emotion. I suppose Grandma's laser focused on her son's alleged promises, making this whole situation a roller coaster of feelings. It's like an emotional whirlwind, folks.
She feel like Miss Bland left her out of the obituary on purpose. And that's why she has so much animosity towards Toy.
I just feel like this. When this come back and it's the baby, I don't want no sorries from nobody. Keep your sorries. I don't want no sorries.
I'm not giving you a sorry.
Okay? I'm not asking you to.
Shut up.
Hold up, Jerome. Dude, where are you at? We're not looking for a one-punch-man showdown here, all right? This ain't the WWE. We're in a courtroom, not the ring. So, Miss Hooker, let's pivot from the potential smackdown and keep our eyes on the prize, the DNA results. No need for unnecessary fireworks. Let's get to the bottom of this with some hard facts.
The percentage of relatedness between Miss Baker and Kenaya is 0%.
They won't go tell me sorry, so I'm not telling them nothing.
Do you need to sit down, ma'am?
Nobody did anything to you, honey.
I don't care.
Nobody
do nothing to me, but I don't like you. I don't like you.
Miss Hubbard, holding it down as the solo breadwinner for her 2-year-old Amiria, storms into the paternity court all fired up. She's out to drop the truth bomb and prove Mr. Watson is the biological dad. And just like in some top-notch reality TV drama, the trial kicks off with all that spicy energy.
I told Mr. Watson when I got pregnant, when I conceived, when the last time we did have sex with each other, and that was in February of 2012, and I had her in November of 2012, and he knew about her the whole pregnancy. He didn't come around until like when I was in the hospital with her.
Miss Hubbard, totally fed up, spilled the beans about how she straight up called out the defendant for lacking empathy in this whole messed up situation, saying over the 2 years, Mr. Watson didn't even try to step up for little Amiria. She went so far as to sell his gear for $100 just to cover some of the kids' bills.
You say that Mr. Watson hasn't done anything for Amiria. Mr. Watson, is that true? Have you done anything for this child?
No, ma'am, I haven't done anything for this child.
You admit you've done nothing?
Yes, ma'am.
Why is that, sir?
Because I don't think this is my baby, because she lied.
But your
You had sex with Miss Hubbard,
But your
right?
family members
Right, but she
Did you use
her.
protection?
No, ma'am.
Oh boy. But seriously, why was Mr. Watson not keeping his eyes on the prize? What made him all uncertain about the kiddo, aside from the drama with Miss Hubbard? Dude rolls into court with some homemade calendar laying out the deets about her pregnancy. Let me go ahead and break it down for you.
When I went to the doctor in March, when I missed my period for the next month, they told me I could see it on Valentine's Day. And I had my baby November the 17th, 2012.
But in October, when you told him you were pregnant the second time.
I didn't tell him in October I was pregnant. I never told him in October I was pregnant.
But you would have been about ready to have the baby.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's lying.
Hold up! Messing with the dates is like messing with your kid's whole future. Mr. Watson's out here justifying his doubts, throwing her diary in the court's face. And get this, Miss Provider's been keeping a collection of, condom wrappers from her past hookups. Talk about nasty business.
You take the condom wrappers in the diary?
Yeah, I was young doing stuff. So,
and then you did a rating?
No, I didn't do no rating. No.
She did a rating.
It says this guy got a yes with an exclamation.
She a freak.
He's adding stuff.
I'm steering clear of that mess. But anyway, let's cut to the chase here. Miss Hubbard spills that all the other family members are dead sure it's his spawn, but he's playing the denial game. She's pushing for a DNA test to drop the truth bomb and make him step up for his little girl. It's time to put up or shut up.
I don't care if he's there or not. I'm still gonna provide for her. I don't want my baby to be confused, be like, where my dad is, why he ain't been around. Just leave her alone. I mean, I'm doing this by myself. All 5 of them. I don't need no more stress, no more nothing. I have a 5-year-old, and my mama is this age.
One day she talked to a dude straight in my face.
The last piece of the puzzle? Rebuilding the trust between these two lovebirds. And you know what that means. The DNA results. no time to twiddle our thumbs. Judge Lauren's all about making things happen. Here's how it all went down.
Mr. Watson, you are Amaria's father.
Deadbeat. Like I told you.
Sorry. I promise I am. I just always had doubt, man, because you've been lying on them dates.
I'm straight.
You've been lying on them dates, and I'm willing to take care of her.
You think for yourself?
No.
You don't. Who thinks for you?
Yes, you do, honey.
Who thinks for you?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I do.
You do?
Yes, my son thinks for himself.
When she got with my brother, she ran the same story on my brother and told my brother that she was pregnant by him.
Started cheating on me with a guy she claimed that looked like Bon Jovi. I said he looks more like the Wolfman. The dude's
Ms. Lee?
caught.
You cheated?
I have a celebrity
week later?
Yes, I have a celebrity obsession in this guy he looked like Bon Jovi.
Miss Jones had grown tired of Mr. Houston's denial game and his mama's boy antics. Her only option for convincing the man-child across the aisle was a DNA test. Let's see if the baby mama's claim about their 6-month-old son, Lyric, is genuine or not.
I found out June 3rd that I was pregnant. And then once I scheduled the date for my actual appointment to see how far along I was a whole month pregnant. That's when I decided that I didn't know if I was gonna tell them because of all the drama that I went through with being with him. And so I knew that they were probably gonna deny my baby.
Now, according to the plaintiff, the denial of her baby stems from Miss Houston, and she's the one who has been spoon-feeding her son about everything. But when the defendant claimed this, it was confirmed.
Do you believe your son thought it was his child?
He didn't know what to think because she waited until she was 8 months. I mean, you can't just throw 8 months and I'm about to have a baby in a month and expect somebody to jump on ship with you and be like, okay, great, let's go shopping.
Your Honor, I was-
Hold on. And I texted and called her, never got a return call.
I asked for DNA multiple times, more than 3 times.
But wait, although Miss Jones did admit to telling the truth about the pregnancy after 8 months, she did ask for the DNA 3 times. But instead of getting it done, Miss Houston stopped because of doubts in her mind. Again, manipulating her son's decision.
I offered the DNA test, and then the mom was like,
So why did the coworker say somebody else was the baby daddy?
What coworker?
Manager said.
The manager.
The manager
Your
said,
Honor,
oh, you're one
Your
of the
Honor.
guys that she's claiming to be her baby daddy.
Your Honor.
The manager
Wait, what's
told-
the story?
Your Honor, what
wait.
is they talking about?
It all kicked off because Miss Houston's 14-year-old daughter snooped on Miss Jones's phone, found some shady messages hinting at cheating, and spilled the tea to her mama. Cue Mama Houston going full psycho mode and exposing her true colors as the queen of raising a man-child. Total drama, right?
Someone can't get you pregnant if you protect yourself. And at your age and his age, getting ready for your prom, is to be getting ready to go on to college. Figure out what you want to do with your life.
But when we finally decide to question the dude of the show, Mr. Houston, so let's just ask him about the denial, right? I'm sure we might be missing something here.
Were you boyfriend and girlfriend?
Yes, we were boyfriend and girlfriend.
In high school?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Houston, do you think for yourself?
No.
You don't. Who thinks for you?
Yes, you do, honey.
Who thinks for you?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I do.
You do?
Yes, my son thinks for himself. She broke up a few days before prom. It was not a week.
Well, these whole back and forth accusations weren't helping the case, so Judge Lake decided to raise the curtain on the DNA question that might help Mr. Houston think for himself. So, here's the concealed truth that we've all been waiting for. All right.
You are the father.
Boom! Dad.
Miss Jones, don't act silly. Don't act silly in here. Don't do it. I know you feel somewhat vindicated. I realize that. But this is not a time to perform because this is not a joke.
All right, folks, we got this wild episode of Paternity Court where Miss Brown is dragging Mr. Rutledge to prove he's the daddy of her 1-year-old daughter, Sanaya. Let's see what our innocent plaintiff has to say about this.
He and Mr. Rutledge, we had sexual relations and things like that. And my doctor told me that I conceived May 25th, which was Memorial Day, which I was over there at his mother's house. She left to go to a cookout and everything. And me and him, had sexual relationships on that day. I did not have sex with anyone else on that day.
So Miss Brown is all about proving that Mr. Rutledge is the bio dad of her kid. But guess what? The dude has only seen the baby once. Talk about Father of the Year material, right? But Why is that?
Well, first of all, me and Ms. Brown was never in a relationship. It was only sexual relationship. I met Ms. Brown she was seeing my cousin, they was dating for a while. After they broke up, they split up, whatever. She got with my other cousin, had a one-night stand with him. The product from him got with my brother.
Miss Brown did spill the tea, claiming she and Mr. Rutledge had a romp that led to baby making on Memorial Day. The romance. But wait, there's more. She conveniently forgets to mention her adventures with Mr. Rutledge's cousins and brother.
Now, let me tell you this. When she got with my brother, she ran the same story on my brother and told my brother that she was pregnant by him. She tells my brother that, oh, I need you to give me money for a morning after pill.
Well, Miss Brown left all those facts out, huh? Come on, why were you sneaky? We need an explanation for this, right? So how about we just enlighten ourselves from your side of the story? I'm sure you had your reasons. No?
First of all, you don't have to pay for a morning after pill because everyone knows that a morning after pill is free whether you have insurance or not. So I never would say, can you pay for a morning after pill? As far as me having one night stands and all that with his cousins, if he felt that I had one night stands with his cousin or his brother, why would you turn around and have unprotected sex with me?
By this time in trial, accusations were flying. Well, we do accept that it's quite common in paternity court, but this one's gonna open your eyes. When Miss Brown told Mr. Rutledge about the pregnancy, he said this.
So I told him, like, I'm pregnant. So he kind of got quiet for a little bit. He like, you pregnant? He like, so what you gonna do? Then he like, never mind, I'll be over there. And basically he was just like, you know, he already got kids. He don't know what I'm gonna do. He really kind of leaning towards me getting an abortion. He wanted me to get an abortion. But he was like, you know, but if she's mine. So he always kept saying like, if she's mine.
But ultimately, as we can guess, that baby was born. And nobody was there at the hospital except Mr. Rutledge's sister. And she gave the live update to her brother, who wasn't exactly happy about it.
She sent her mother pictures, and I guess she sent Mr. Rutledge pictures, and he called, and he told her that he hopes my baby die, and that he don't want my baby around other children, and that's something that came out of her mouth. Now she want to stand here and try to act like she's the best sister in the world. But everything that I know that he said about me, mostly she told me. Just like he said he didn't want my daughter around his other kids, that came out her mouth.
With our potential daddies, all intentions being cleared, how about we fasten your seatbelts for that big reveal? The DNA results are in. And surprise, surprise, Judge Lake was about to drop the final verdict on who's the baby daddy.
Mr. Rutledge, it has been determined by this court that you are her father.
What? Now what? What y'all gotta say now? What do y'all gotta say now? Exactly. I thought that's what y'all had to say.
I apologize. I just wanted to know for sure, Jazz. That's it.
But now you know, but you missed 16 months though.
You're right.
For this paternity trial, Judge Lake's courtroom becomes the stage for Mr. Lee and Mrs. Lee as they navigate through the turbulent waters of marital discord. The alleged father disclosed his wife's infidelity, asserting that she has strayed from the bounds of their marriage on multiple occasions.
Why did your family disown you?
Because she cheated on me and I chose her over them, and they didn't like that, so burned a lot of bridges.
So she cheated on you. They told you we don't want you to be with her anymore.
Yes, and I didn't do what they wanted, so they threw me out.
Just because you went back to somebody?
The alleged father disclosed his wife's infidelity, asserting that she has strayed from the bounds of their marriage on multiple occasions. You got it. Picture this, true love going sore. But before we jump into some assumptions, let me spill some deets. Time for a flashback. So, Mr. and Miss Lee kicked off their love journey at a swanky hotel bash. And like any good story, their colorful relationship began.
We did not have sex though, we just made out. The next morning, we exchanged numbers that night. We actually had to exchange our names as well because we made out the whole night, didn't even remember each other's names. The next day I called him, went and picked him up, and he took my grandmother out with us on our first date. That was it for me, I knew that he was the one.
However, things weren't that pretty as Miss Lee straight up owned up to playing the field behind Mr. Lee's back. Get ready to crank up that volume, because this is the part you don't want to sleep on. We're talking major celebrity obsession vibes.
The distance was starting to get to her because at the time I was living over an hour away, Your Honor. She went ahead and moved in with me. I mean, she stayed there with me for a few days, and then like the following week, she started cheating on me with a guy she claimed that looked like Bon Jovi.
Oh man, where do obsessions even land us? Now, check this out. The plot twists when Miss Lee's bun starts baking in the oven. In the beginning, Mr. Lee thinks he's going to be a dad, right? But hold up, just a week into the pregnancy, Miss Lee drops a bombshell, spilling the beans that she's been up to some sneaky business. What a psycho.
Started cheating on me with a guy she claimed that looked like Bon Jovi. I said he looks more like the Wolfman. The dude
Ms. Lee?
caught.
You cheated
I have a
a
celebrity
week
obsession.
later?
Yes, I have a celebrity obsession in this guy he looked like Bon Jovi. He's just jealous.
Seriously, can we talk about how casually they're chatting about cheating? Come on, ma'am. A dude standing right there who ditched his whole family for you. This bombshell crushed the trust vibes between them, and now their marriage is teetering on the edge. Miss Lee and Mr. Lee are like, if this kiddo isn't his, peace out. We're getting a divorce.
I worked late nights.
He was
so yeah,
emotionally
I was kinda
absent.
sleeping.
Yes.
And you were emotionally absent, Mr. Lee, what, because you didn't believe the child was yours?
Well, after about a week later, after we find out she's pregnant, she told me she'd cheat on me again, and that's where this whole allegation came on. It's like, oh, by the way, I slept with another guy.
So,
oh, man.
Even after all the bombshells and jaw droppers, the supposed dad's still crossing his fingers, hoping he's the baby daddy. Mr. Lee, you're one optimistic dude. But hey, forget the family drama, what's done is done, right? But hold up, there's always a catch in the mix.
You know, I put up with a lot, and why didn't I leave her years ago? Because, I mean, I was always hoping to make things right. When you throw a kid into the mix, it complicates a lot of things.
why do you cheat on him?
I never really saw a good relationship. I love my mom to death, but nobody in my family really showed me how to be in a relationship.
We get it, we all got our reasons for messing up. But Miss Lee, next time you spot a celeb or their doppelganger, how about you keep those emotions in check, am I right? All right, I'm done being the tour guide. Let's bounce this job back to Judge Lake. But before we do that, drum roll please. It's results time.
Mr. Lee, you are Carolyn's father.
I told you. Sorry. I tried to tell him I've been faithful to him. I made some mistakes. I did, but I've been doing a lot better. I just want us to be a family.
Mr. Allen, the genius among geniuses, is all pumped, thinking he's nailed the paternity mystery. Who needs a DNA test when you've got a teleportation gadget, am I right? According to him, there's zero chance he's the pops of Miss Diaz's little one because they were chilling in totally different states when the magic went down.
I wasn't even in the same state as her at that time. I was in Tennessee and she was in Indiana. And at that time, she was in a relationship with another guy and I was in a relationship with another female. At that time, we weren't even in the same state. So it really doesn't add up. I mean, you don't have to be a genius to know that that does not add up.
That's a lie.
Check it out. Mr. Allen, the memory king, is acting like Easter is a total blur. Like who even remembers Easter dinners, right? Miss Diaz is throwing down the challenge, swearing they did the whole Easter shindig together. But Mr. Allen pulled the Tennessee card, saying he was busy there with some other female friend.
That's what the doctor said. A week before or a week after Easter. Easter's in April. If you do the math, 9 months later.
You don't remember this Easter day?
No, ma'am, because well, you see, at the time, I was with another female. Her friend wanted us to go and have Easter dinner with her and her family. This was in Tennessee.
All right, peeps, buckle up for this cosmic jackpot connection. It kicked off as a chill fling. But then, wham! They started chatting, and boom! She's crashing at his place. Destiny vibes, you feel me? Well, except for the constant bickering and squabbling. Love in all its wild glory, I swear.
Our relationship's always been rocky. We first started dating 2016 in Evansville, and she was originally just supposed to be a hookup, but we ended up talking and we ended up hitting it off, and she moved in with me not too soon after talking and being together. We were good for the first 3-4 months of our relationship, and then after that it was fighting and bickering.
In the epic finale of their breakup saga, Miss Diaz throws in the big reveal. She's cooking up a bun in the oven. Now, Mr. Allen, the king of smooth talk, comes back with a killer. Good for you. Congratulations. Classic move, ain't it? Now that's how you handle the maybe I'm the dad situation, no doubt.
When you confided in him and you told him I'm pregnant, what was his response?
That's not mine, that can't be, da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, well, I didn't just make him myself. If you do them, 4 months later, if you do the math, if you're good at math, it leads to April. We were together April, which is Easter.
Now we're knee deep in a mess of lies, and if someone's pulling a fast one, they gotta be a real idiot for messing with this poor kid's life. But hold up, there's more. the plot just gets juicier as Mr. Allen, all bold and gutsy, throws down the challenge, demanding proof from Miss Diaz. "Show me I'm the dad," he says.
This time, were you dating anybody else?
Not really. I mean, it was.
Not really?
No, I was going to school, and I mean, it would happen maybe once or twice, but it wasn't like I would do something with somebody like consecutively. It was a one-time thing if I did.
Was one-time thing meaning sex a one-time thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that's all it takes.
With Mr. Allen out of the picture, Miss Diaz went full-on explorer mode, like she's tackling a multiple-choice quiz, but with, dudes. Mr. Allen's crew spilled all the juicy details on her escapades, turning this whole mess into a real-life reality TV spectacle.
She would say, well, I'm with another guy now, you don't have to keep texting me and making sure that I'm okay. And, so from that point on, I was like, all right, well, whatever. But like I said, I would still text her.
But why?
To make sure to just check.
Why if we're broken up? Because if you want to check in just on me, why don't you check in the whole pregnancy when I was pregnant?
Okay, so there might be a hint of shade being tossed around, but let's get to the real deal. Mr. Allen, the scoop in this paternity court is about to hit like a hidden envelope. Do you catch my drift? The DNA results are about to go down.
Mr. Allen, you are the father. You are the father. That is your handsome little boy. He definitely got more of your cousin's genes. But he's yours. Manning, did you write him back and say now you are the father?
No.
In early 2015?
No.
So you just think he's making all this up?
I've never told him he was the father if he wasn't the father. It's always been there's a possibility between you and my ex.
Mr. Johnson, the only man you were dating at this time?
Nope.
Wait a minute, I want to hear more about this.
I just sat there, I'm cool, I'm chilling. Because the whole time I'm married too. See, that's what she didn't know. You know what I'm saying?
And a whole girlfriend?
I'm married and got a girlfriend.
We have got Mr. Haynes here, taking Miss Manning to court to prove he was the father of little Zoe. If only she believed that to be the truth. Buckle up, because a wild ride of he said, she said fiasco was about to uncover some shocking baby daddy drama.
I know Zoe's my child. Miss Manning is keeping her from me because she has another gentleman in the picture, and that's why I came to you for the answers.
So you are convinced?
Yes.
Beyond a shadow of a doubt that Zoe is your daughter?
Yes.
It appears this love story began over a tattoo. Talk about a romantic meet-cute, am I right? But wait, the plot thickens as they break up, and she moves on to her ex. Well, that's gotta make things complicated. Seriously, who needs a soap opera script when you've got these guys?
How long after that did you find out you were pregnant, Ms. Manning?
We broke up in the middle of October, and I found out in December.
That's a lie. We actually broke up in November of 2013.
And you know that for certain?
Yes.
Because?
It was actually at one of my friends. She just gave birth, and we were both at the hospital, and we were dating at that time.
Buckle up now, because baby mama was about to drop a bombshell. After all those fun times these guys shared, she doubted baby Zoe was Mr. Haynes' spawn. Why, you ask? Well, due to their post-breakup conception timeline. That's why.
When did you find out you were pregnant, Miss Manning?
In December. I didn't inform him he's a possibility until she was like 9 months old.
Oh, so you had the baby, and Mr. Haynes never knew? And you had the baby all the way till she was 9 months old?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then you informed Mr. Haynes that he was a possibility?
So the relationship turned sour. I bet. And guess what? Miss Manning dropped this pregnancy bomb on the plaintiff after they called it quits. Classic move, right? And so the potential baby daddy was left reeling, to say the least. All he could feel was confusion and despair.
I've never told him he was the father, and I've never told him he wasn't the father. It's always been there's a possibility. And the fact that he's waited 4 years to take a paternity test is what irritates me.
The only reason I waited so long is because she kept going back and forth that I wasn't the father. So that was for, I didn't think it was mine at the time, but now I want the truth.
Next up, we head straight into the maze of messages and Facebook statuses. Apparently, the DNA drama wasn't shocking enough for these guys yet, so Mr. Haynes was left in the dark, swinging between I am the father and I'm not the father, and no bond was established between him and the baby. But hold on, man had a whole timeline to back him up.
Ms. Manning, did you write him back and say now you are the father?
No.
In early 2015?
No.
So you just think he's making all this up?
I've never told him he was the father if he wasn't the father. It's always been there's a possibility between you and my ex.
Moving on, it seems that baby Zoe's certificate had a father's name, but he wasn't the real one. And the testimony of the plaintiff's girlfriend further complicated the matters. Mommy had been on a roll with accepting and denying Mr. Haynes as the father, and that made the girlfriend furious.
We've been together for 2.5 years. She has repeatedly sent him messages saying that he is the father and isn't the father. She's dragging him through hell, pretty much. When he is the father, he's
Your Honor,
happy and wants to
I don't
actually try and
understand
take...
how I'm dragging him through hell when it's been, there's a possibility, let's get a DNA test.
Okay.
Time to spill the beans on who the father was. Will Mr. Haynes end up doing a victory dance, or will Miss Manning need a moment of reflection? It all depends on the outcome that was the result. Here it goes.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Haynes, you are not the father.
That's all I needed to know. Sucks that Zoe don't know her real dad. Maybe she should just get the other guy tested that's on the birth certificate.
A young woman was here insisting her deceased lover was the father. But hold on to your gavels just yet, because the Perret duo was here to prove otherwise, and they were not accepting any of it until the results proved them wrong. Let's get on with it then.
Ms. Perret, you are here with your daughter, and you both claim that you never heard about your son's relationship with the plaintiff. You believe the plaintiff is motivated by money, and you refuse to accept her child until the results prove that Mr. Hairston is the biological father. Is that correct?
Yes.
So, Miss Delaney claimed to be inexperienced when she came across the charming, older man named Mr. Hairston Jr., a hotel room with a payment dispute later. And boom, these guys were in cahoots with each other. Man, I'm with the judge on this one. Who pays to have their cherry popped, huh?
I wish you would have told her you were gonna go to this hotel with this old man before you were gonna go so she could tell you don't go. But was this the night you believe you conceived?
No.
So when do you believe you conceived? How long were you all in this boyfriend and girlfriend sexual relationship?
About 4 months in.
It appears that day was not the conception day. Nope. And according to the baby mama, they had a relationship that continued for 4 months or so. Meanwhile, Miss Perret had no clue that the beloved son had this going on the side. Though what she did know, she shared with the court.
He had side things going on. We knew my brother, but we never knew a name. He would call them different names, like I'm with PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Country, LL.
LL? Yeah. That ain't me. That ain't me.
Fast forward to the pregnancy day. Baby mama got to know about the pregnancy, not by herself, but by her best friend, and then by her mother. Now, Mama Dear smelled something fishy, and it was so not the pink salmon. Please tell me I'm not the only one thinking that was a very fast yet weird detection method. I'm not crazy, right?
You say you lost your virginity to Mr. Hairston, and I get that. But that does not preclude you in a sexual relationship with somebody else.
That precludes me because when I'm in a relationship with somebody, I'm in a relationship with that one person, not nobody else.
And so for her, Judge, that's why I think he got her in that hotel. He moved her in.
So, according to baby mama, Mr. Hairston did believe he was the father, and yet he was only involved in their life 50-50. Interesting. Furthermore, Miss Perret claimed that the plaintiff's mother did not even know her boy, which, guess what, turned out to be true, because her daughter was scared Mama would not approve.
Did he develop any type of relationship with her?
He said that he believes that this is his daughter. He never denied her being his daughter. He thinks that she looks like him. He called her stinky feet.
And so you felt like the interaction was he was the father of the child? Like he felt like he came in and treated your daughter like she was his?
I did.
Now, the sudden passing of the baby daddy was tragic. Even more so with the fact that he may have left a baby behind. Baby mama was so taken aback by this news that a shocking thought came to her mind. She believed baby daddy wanted to evade child support, so he played the being passed away game. Yeah, this DNA game got even crazier.
It's so weird how you come to one court date and then you never deny that she's yours. They tell you to come for paternity testing, and then we have a conversation, and then next thing I know, you're dead. You had no health problems. How are you dead?
I mean, it was a shock for us also. I mean, the bottom line of it is.
According to the Perrette family, all they wanted was to get to the bottom of this whole paternity mess. It was certainly a lot to take, and baby Joyan was in the middle of it all. However, the family kept referring to him as the baby, and that irked baby mama quite a bit.
But I'm truly sorry, because I wish I had gotten to know my granddaughter's father. Now she'll never know, I never know. I'm just sorry this all had to come down to this. But now it's about the baby, and it's about do the right down.
Your mom just said it. The baby.
Well, on that note, the gavel was ready to be dropped on our final verdict. Truly was a lot on the line here. Time to see whether baby Joya truly belonged to the Perrette family, or if there's yet another twist in her story.
The percentage of relatedness between Ms. Almenia Perrette and Joya Delaney is 0.00%. You are not related.
That is not. I don't believe that.
That's okay. I disagree.
Mr. Johnson, our dear old plaintiff, was pointing fingers at Miss Walters, calling her a shady manipulator. But wait, the real scratcher was if baby Amir was his daughter, or was this just another wild ride on the drama train? Let's find out.
It was shaded from the first day when I met her. I was just out of town. We met and we ended up sleeping together. We met over a dating app.
You were on a dating app. What happened?
One day I told her I was going on lunch. We ended up going back to the room, and her wedding ring fell out of her pocket.
Wait, what?
I was taking her jeans off and her wedding ring fell out of her pocket.
He lying.
A love story born on a dating app where wedding rings magically appear in pockets during casual lunch dates. I know, hard to imagine that. But it happened, if we were to believe these guys. Though baby daddy's dating playbook was jam-packed, involving a whole girlfriend and wife, while mommy multitasked with multiple suitors. Oh, a lot of DNA drama going on here, right? Shocking.
Was Mr. Johnson the only man you were dating at this time?
Nope, because every time I was in the car with her, she was telling me to hush up.
Wait a minute, I want to hear more about this. What happened?
I just sat there, I'm cool, I'm chilling. Because the whole time I'm married too. See, that's what she didn't know. You know what I'm saying?
And a whole girlfriend?
I'm married and got a girlfriend.
So while the plaintiff was busy rambling on about the protected sex, Miss Walters spilled the tea on a pregnancy announcement. Boy, was she hurt and betrayed. But did he say congratulations or confusion?
You had protected sex with Ms. Walters.
Yes, Your Honor.
When she calls you to say, I'm pregnant, your response is, congratulations.
Yes, Your Honor. I called Mr. Johnson after I spoke with my ex, and I let both of them know, like, hey, I'm pregnant. You're my child father, but I'm telling you that's a possibility.
Now fast forward to the baby daddy's reaction. Well, he congratulated the mommy, but with a dash of paternity denial, of course. Was baby Amir his love child, or just a complication in his tangled web of relationships? Because he claimed mommy had been messing around with someone else on the side.
When you saw her pictures, what did you think?
She like a whole nother dude that she was messing with probably like the same time.
He's lying. Yep. Initially, when my daughter was born, she was born early, but she was only 3 pounds, so she was really small. So she didn't look like nobody. She
Y'all ain't got
like
that picture of the other dude. Know what I'm talking about? It's the other
what
dude.
What other dude?
The whole dude you banged.
The drama took an intensified turn next, as we dove into the timeline of conception chaos. Now, baby mama claimed exclusive time with Mr. Johnson, but did he fall for that? Nope, he got busy throwing shade about tequila field nights. Something was going on here.
Did you use protection the entire time?
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
That means no.
No, he did not. We only used protection like the first 3 times we had sex. After that, condoms went out the window.
First 3 times?
Yeah, the first 3 times. When you start spending the night at my house, we were not using condoms. We used condoms like once.
Baby Amir was left in the middle of a potential family feud because it seemed baby daddy tried to reach out, only to be shocked when Miss Walters shed light on a Facebook scandal. The DNA drama here just keeps getting interesting with every passing minute.
If he felt like that my daughter was not his, why do you feel the need to text me and say, oh, how's the princess? Or how y'all doing video chatting and all that if you know that this is not your kid? He has never one time said, Amir is not my child to me. He has never ever said that to me.
I haven't?
You have never said that to me.
Why are we here then?
Brace yourselves, people, because the suspense is about to unfold. Is Mr. Johnson the father? Or is there a third guy in the mix? Well, we will find out from the DNA queen herself in 3, 2, 1.
You are not the father. Ms. Walters, so clearly there is a third guy.
That looks just like her.
Do you know who Amir's biological father is?
Well, after
That
Mr.
dude shouldn't mess
Johnson
with
left,
no
I
more.
did establish another relationship with someone else.
What to do when a blast from the past comes back to haunt you? Well, Mr. Williams seemed to be in one such predicament. Strap in, folks, as we navigate this maze of promiscuity, missed connections, and a sudden claim of fatherhood 20 years later.
You are furious that after a chance meeting 20 years later, she is now claiming you fathered her daughter, Alexis. Miss Smith, you say there's no doubt Mr. Williams is the father of your daughter, and you say the plaintiff claiming ignorance in order to make himself look better, but you intend to prove him wrong today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's throw back to a time when Miss Smith, our leading lady, was known as Gin and Juice. Yeah, a rather promiscuous party girl with a knack for keeping secrets. On the other hand, Baby Daddy insisted they were never more than just party buddies. Ouch!
She was a party girl back in the day. Miss Smith was very promiscuous, but at that time, we were just partying, we were having fun, enjoying life. You know, we were young.
How are you enjoying yourself?
We was never in a relationship or anything. We would just hook up and we'd have sex and stuff, but you know, other than that there was nothing. We were never in a relationship, that's the bottom line.
Enter the soap opera of doubts and reservations. Mr. Williams denies paternity, citing their casual flings. Miss Smith claims she dropped hints 24 years ago, but Mr. Williams conveniently forgot. The betrayal vibes are strong, and someone's truth is about to get exposed.
It's a possibility that Lexi could be his. And then a couple of years later, I didn't see him no more till Lexi turned, what, 24?
You knew where I stayed at.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
No, I did not.
She was up with some of my friends of mine. She, like I said, a party girl.
3 years ago, still partying?
3 years ago, I was not partying 3 years ago.
Moving on, the plaintiff went on and on about practicing safe, fun times with the mysterious Gin and Juice. But surprise, because the pregnancy news hit him like a ton of bricks. The reaction? Denial, disbelief, and a dash of I'm not ready for this panic.
And we saw each other on the bus. This was around about that time too. She was telling me, your daughter want to talk to you or something like that there. I said, what you mean, my daughter want to talk to me? I'm still trying to figure out who is she talking about. She still didn't know no name or nothing. And so she gave my number and said, call me. So okay, I called her.
Miss Smith, did you run into him on the bus?
I met him on the bus and he asked me how my daughter doing. I said, she's doing fine.
Well, the conception timeline was as murky as it could get, and their conflicting stories about protection and misconnections were not helping the situation either. To top it off, a mysterious bus ride 3 years ago left matters even more complicated. Well, weren't these guys pro at DNA dramatics?
When Lexi got back here and I allowed him to move back, he came to my house to see Alexis a couple of times.
No.
To my house, more than one time,
One
twice.
time, but she started saying, well, you the daddy. No, I'm not the daddy. I'm not the daddy, baby.
And you asked me, could you stay over there
I'm gonna be
that
cordial,
night? And I told you no. So get it right.
I was gonna be
Get it
cordial,
right.
yeah, because I'm not that type of person.
As the emotions ran high, the truth was slipping through the cracks. Miss Alexis took the stage next and shared how she had no interaction with the supposed father. So whom did she call her daddy? Well, it was her grandfather who stepped up to that role, but fate had plans for her to meet the defendant.
You had never known Mr. Williams was your biological father?
I only heard his name one time.
So how did you feel when you finally heard your biological father?
Happy. I was coming home from work. My mama told me that my daddy wanted to see me and talk to me. When I got there, he was already there. We hugged, we talked, we had dinner. Not one time did he say he wasn't my father.
Did you feel a connection?
Yes, ma'am.
It appears both parents wanted to get to the bottom of this. But how would that be possible when mommy claimed the defendant was the real deal? Only for her to confess later that there could be another possibility. Poor Alexis was caught in the crossfire of their drama.
I just couldn't hurt her feeling. I couldn't hurt my child, her child, anybody's child feeling. Just said, oh, well, I'm not your daddy, you know. And I'm telling her now that I'm not your father. I don't think that is my child, and I'm adamant about that there. She
I'm not
claimed,
pinning on no man, him.
No, the daddy.
No, sir.
There you go lying again.
I'm not lying.
No.
I figured that it was
No.
Mr. Williams on. Yes, I did.
Next up, Miss Derica Williams came to the court. Now, she was the biological daughter of the plaintiff, but she was supporting Miss Alexis. Yep, she fully believed her to be her real sister. Sadly, the way Mr. Williams interacted with his daughter just made this all the harder for Alexis.
After they met on the bus, my dad was calling Miss Smith, and she wasn't really responding. I think she had maybe gotten to the hospital or something. But when I called her, and that I wanted to get to know Alexis, and we exchanged numbers, then
I gave you the number
we've
to
been
call
talking.
her because she gave me, her Alexa one gave me the number, and I gave it to you and told you to call and talk to her. Because like I said, she's not my child, and that's the bottom line.
Time to settle the dust on this mystery that had gone on for about 2 decades or so. The tension was about to peak even more as Judge Lake went for the envelope that held all those answers. Will Miss Alexis finally get closure, or will her journey continue? Let's see.
Mr. Williams, you are not the father.
There you go. I rest my case, Your Honor. Look out.
You are not the father.
Look out. I'm sorry. It's out of my hands now. Only God can help you.
I know who he is.
Do you know where he is?
Yes, ma'am.
You do?
I don't believe it.
The baby has good hair. I have good hair.
You don't have no good hair. You just a lot of hair.
I got good hair. Look, let's not get in this courtroom and start talking nonsense. If you got some hair, that's good hair. Ask anybody that doesn't have any.
I've been there since day one, since the mic came out.
Really?
Oh, baby.
So was Mr. Gonzalez there?
No.
And so what do you know about this situation?
Oh, I feel like I'm the daddy, but I don't even have no equipment to be the daddy, but I am the daddy.
Miss Edwards took the plaintiff podium to prove to Mr. Morris what he had been denying for the last 2 decades, that he fathered her daughter. But hold on just yet, because this ain't your typical love triangle. Nuh-uh. It's a backyard rendezvous that landed them here in paternity court.
You're here to solve a 20-year mystery and prove that the defendant fathered your daughter, Brianne, who is joining us from her hometown. You say you are tired of his denial and hope to prove your case today. You are here supported by your older daughter, Caitlin. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So this all began years ago. There was a small town, a garage, and a backyard. What could have possibly happened? Well, a threesome. Oh yeah, man had fun times with his friend's wife, and that was not just the end of it. Oh, he vowed to be truthful and took that seriously, leaving the room in hysterics.
Years ago, I run a little garage in a small town, and her husband, I got to know him. We wound up getting threesome in my backyard. And
a threesome in the backyard?
Out in the field behind my house, yes.
Yeah. With your friend's wife?
Yes, ma'am.
It seems Miss Edwards kept the pregnancy truth under wraps from her hubby, thinking it's their child all along. Fast forward to baby time, and surprise, a cleft palate throws in a curveball. Mama didn't see that coming now, did she?
You went through the whole pregnancy. Did you tell your husband this could potentially be Mr. Morris's child, that you thought it could?
No, Your Honor, I did not. I thought it was my husband's all along.
At what point did you decide that it could be Mr. Morris's?
When she was born.
Moving on, the baby mama decided to navigate the new development along with all its possibilities. Good thing she let her husband know the very next day. However, he claimed the kid is his. So, Mommy dropped the potential dad bomb on Mr. Morris next, who was knee-deep in, you guessed it right, more potential threesomes.
So, Mr. Morris, do you remember that day?
Pretty close.
What happened?
First time I was told she could be mine was the one that Brianna was around a year old, I think. Pretty sure of that.
Oh, so they come and tell you she's pregnant, but they don't ever let on to the fact that it could be yours.
No, not then.
Now, Miss Brianne's cleft palate took the spotlight next. It seems one significant piece of information made the mama so sure that the defendant was the real father. A rare blood type and shots. Yep, Mr. Morris and blood type took the main lead next.
Did you tell Miss Edwards, Mr. Morris, that the other mothers of your children had to have shots because of your rare blood?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
To avoid the baby having birth defects?
I don't know what the shot was for, but all of my children were perfectly healthy.
But were you ever told that these shots were necessary to avoid birth defects because of your blood type?
No, I wasn't never told, no.
Next up, the daughter in question joined the paternity chaos. Now, Mommy Dearest had been honest with her from the start about her daddy situation. Kudos to her. However, no bond had been established between these guys. Not shocking since Daddy was objecting the possibility, though Miss Edwards' other daughter supported her claim.
Did you know that Mr. Morris could potentially be your biological father?
Growing up, I was told by my mother and family that Mr. Morris was my father.
But what about her husband?
They had always told me that he wasn't my father and that I had a different father than my siblings.
Mr. Morris's wife took the stage next, and boy, she presented evidence like her life depended on it. Desperation, thy name was her. From her features to her personality, she dissected them all and concluded that she did not resemble her husband.
All of our children have some kind of resemblance to my husband. My husband has 7 children. Every one of them have some kind of feature of his, whether it be eyes, walk, talk, something. Even his smart mouth. Brienne, she doesn't have that. None of our children are shy.
Who knew backyard echoes and cleft conundrums would end up being a paternity mystery of 20 years? But no worries, it's about to be solved. After the professional medical opinion suggested the possibility of him being the father was 50-50, Judge Lake was ready to deliver the verdict. Let's hear it then.
Mr. Morris, you are the father. Brienne, this is your biological father.
Yes, ma'am.
How does it feel to know for certain now?
Feels pretty good to have answers that I've always needed.
Miss Lindsay had a bone to pick with the defendant. Yup, she claimed Miss Cade used her son and was now pinning a baby on him to trap him. Ugh, I just feel the crazy drama brewing in this household.
You claim the defendant, Ms. Cade, is using her child to try to trap your son and reap the rewards of his success as a musician. You say she cheated on your son the very month she got pregnant, yet is still claiming that he fathered her child.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, to sum up, name-calling accusations were the order of the day. Or so was the strategy Mother Dearest was going for. It looks like her own daughter set up her brother with the infamous defendant.
Nicole is a liar. She's thirsty.
Excuse me, Your Honor, that is not true.
Let me tell you,
Hold on, one at a time now. Miss Lindsay, tell me now, what's going on in this relationship that has you so upset?
Your Honor, before she was ever with my son, she was my daughter right here, Demetrius's best friend. So she has a history.
Well, who knew teenage escapades could lead to such courtroom theatrics? Because the plaintiff was in full defensive mode. Amidst the chaos, baby mama revealed she called security on Miss Lindsay in the hospital. Why take such drastic measures, you ask? See that for yourselves.
She had a C-section.
The baby
she looks just like you. I tried to run up in that delivery room. They called security on me because I was going to be the first one to see that baby. I love all kids.
Security on you at the hospital.
They showed
her because she was going crazy. You can't run in a corporation. You were running up in the
I tried to get up in there.
So, as we continue to peel this paternity onion, the baby daddy reveals he had doubts too. Yeah, while he stood next to the baby mama. And you won't believe what gave rise to this. The baby's fabulous hair. Go figure.
Doctor was asking where was the father when they came and did her little checkup. I was there, and they looking like, where's the father based off her hair? Like, oh, her hair's real slick and curly. This is the best hair today, whatnot. And I was like,
the baby has good hair. I have good hair.
You don't have no good hair. You just a lot of hair.
I got good hair.
You must think this was confusing. Well, buckle up, because here was some more. Mama Cade revealed the intricacies of her romantic timeline. Breaks, exes, and unprotected escapades. And you might be able to catch my drift. Who's the father? still nowhere close to figuring that out.
The doctor said about her, and I'm right there, and they couldn't see the resemblance, so they asked where was the father?
She's a little baby.
She looks
Children
like me.
grow and change.
Of course, I knew she needed time for her features to develop, but after that, what about after that when her features did develop? People asked me was she mixed and whatnot, and her ex, the dude that she cheated on me with.
Well, it seems the ex-confession was not the only basis of doubt for the plaintiff. Yep, enter courtroom theatrics, because Miss Lindsay very passionately asked the beloved son to take a shoe off right in the middle of the court to prove her point. Now, what point that might be led to such crazy measures.
His sister, they baby toenail. It's not regular like normal people. Take that shoe off, boy, and show this judge that toe. See this stuff right here?
Boy, you know you should have put some lotion on your feet.
You see this baby toe? This is my towel. It don't grow like everybody else.
Jerome,
it goes
do you
straight
see
out.
it?
I see it. I've got the same problem.
Thank you.
Moving on from that visual, the sister stepped up next. Now, for her, baby mama was a former best friend turned liar. Oh, yeah, and she was here to drag all the skeletons out of the closet. 'Cause how dare she mess with her and her brother behind her back, huh?
We were friends before she and my brother got together. The things that we used to do when we were single and she wasn't messing with my brother, those are best friend things. You don't mess with my brother, so I don't mind you doing your slutty stuff or whatever. But once she got with my brother and she lied about it, that's where the issue became.
Do you believe he's the father of her child?
No, because she's a liar.
Boy, the tension was skyrocketing. Yep. Even more when baby daddy explained how he was caught in the middle of these three women, three closest relationships of his life. And the poor man couldn't even argue his heart out because people kept interjecting. And this got to the point where he called his mother crazy. How the courtroom gasped at that one.
I'm torn between the family and just all three.
We're gonna break this up today, sugar.
We ain't breaking up nothing. He's
You're
gonna be
not
right
gonna
back
be
with
you
me.
just want your money, son.
We'll be there.
Mr. Wells, Mr. Wells, let me ask
though.
you, have you been a good father?
And I've been there from day one.
A revelation that could shatter hearts or bring about a moment of awkward reconciliation. Yep, that's exactly what the results were capable of doing. And that moment was here. Hold on to your DNA kits, folks, because the DNA maestro was about to deliver the truth.
Mr. Wells, you are her father.
Okay.
You owe somebody an apology.
You owe somebody an apology.
I
You
still
too.
don't like you.
Y'all
I apologize because that's my grandbaby.
Be a good grandmother.
Thank you. On my son.
Thank you.
A 1-year-old cutie was caught in the middle of baby mama claiming the defendant was her guy. And in a twist, so was the baby daddy. Just Miss Salvo's repeated lies made it a bit difficult to do so. It's a tale of baby daddy mysteries, heartbreak, and the quest for paternal truth.
You claim that around the time you conceived your 1-year-old daughter, Amaya, you carried on a sexual relationship with the defendant, Mr. Gonzalez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Today you say you desperately want to prove Mr. Gonzalez is her biological father because it will break your heart if she has to grow up without a dad.
Yes, Your Honor.
Who knew a forbidden romance filled with kissing, touching, and fridge encounters had the paternity court as the last stop? But what took the cake was the plaintiff's mother's reaction. But hold on, it gets better. There's an engaged fiancé, hair salon deceptions, and a whole lot of questionable decision-making. Move over, Shakespeare. We got a modern-day tragedy in the making.
How involved has Mr. Gonzalez been in your daughter's life thus far?
I can't stand him. He knows Amaya's his daughter, but he refuses to take care of him. I've never, ever had sex with any Hispanic man but him. I don't like Hispanic men. I was intoxicated at the time. I was drunk. He came over. He got me at the right time.
Okay.
It seems Mr. Gonzalez was accused of not only being an absentee dad, but also of being the potential father among a lineup of contenders. And the classic he said, she said drama. How tragic.
I've never, ever had sex with any Hispanic man but him.
Did you use protection?
No, ma'am. I was thirsty. I got up. I went to get something to drink in the kitchen. When I opened the fridge, I was naked. Her mom saw me. Her mom was like, wow. Mom didn't get mad at me or nothing.
You were naked in her kitchen and she said, wow.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's dive into the shocking revelation of Mama Salvo's pregnancy. The defendant spilled the beans about their steamy escapades. And of course, they were unprotected. Does that really shock us anymore? I think not. but the pregnancy reactions were drama-worthy nonetheless.
Now, he claims in his testimony you were with other men.
I had a current boyfriend at the time, yes.
You did?
Yes.
Okay, so were you also sleeping with the boyfriend during this same time period?
Yes, Your Honor.
Were you using protection with your boyfriend?
Periodically, but not as much.
Consistently?
Yeah.
While both these former lovers, now enemies, had trouble being on the same page about the number of encounters they shared, Mama took it a step further, insisting it was a one-time, not even good affair. Ouchie!
Looks can be deceiving.
Well, I believe it.
We do.
Is there any other reason?
If I had a picture of my current ex-boyfriend's kids, they have no type of resemblance. She looks nothing.
So you know what your ex-boyfriend's children look like, and you say there's absolutely no resemblance to him.
None. I helped raise his kids.
Now, Miss Salvo stuck by her claim that she'd been intimate with the defendant and the other guy. But did that stop baby daddy from insinuating more? Nope. And so, he proceeded to narrate another incident that led him to believe he was being played. Come on, man.
I want to understand more.
All right, Your Honor.
About your doubt.
One night I was over there and I got my hair done and everything, and she went out to the mall. I don't know, supposedly go do something at the mall. She took hours and hours, and I'm like, I'm not just gonna sit here and keep waiting. When I start walking home, she calls me and she asked me why I left, because I felt like I was getting played.
So, Mr. Gonzalez kept suggesting, and Miss Salvo kept denying. That's the game these guys were busy playing over here. But Mama left one particular incident out of her testimony that baby daddy was all too happy to share with the court and make them go crazy.
We're all hanging out next to my mama's house. We're eating, partying, having fun. This Mexican guy, he looking mad at me like he want to fight me or something. I asked, Ashley, why that guy so mad at me? Why he looked like he want to fight me? Oh, because he wanted to be the baby daddy, but I told him, you're the baby daddy.
Was that your response to that question, Miss Salvo?
That boy's been obsessed with me since elementary school.
Moving on, baby mama was engaged now, and the said fiance was up next. Now, she had a lot to say about the baby daddy and his bold-faced lies. He claimed he took responsibility for the baby, but she called that a bunch of boo hockey and claimed she was the daddy in their equation. Oh dear.
You've been there to help her with the child?
I've been there since day one, since Mike came out.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
So was Mr. Gonzalez there? Not there?
No.
And so what do you know about this situation?
So I feel like I'm the daddy, but I don't even have no equipment to be the daddy, but I am the daddy.
The big reveal was here, guys. Yep, the palpable tension was about to be cut by the final verdict, delivered sweetly by our very own Lauren Lake. Let's see what fate had in store for this trio next. Another surprise or some closure?
It has been determined by this court that you are not the father.
Excuse me, Your Honor. Can I still come around and see Amaya and help her out if I can? Because for a year and 4 or 5 months, she's been my daughter, and she's still gonna be my daughter.